Yo, what's up guys, Nathan or Feeds here. Welcome back to another PokeMMO video on the channel. Just real quick, I want to say thank you guys for all the support on my last few videos. Less than a week and the videos are doing amazing, so thank you guys so much for that. Today, I wanted to talk about this forum post right here that I saw a few days ago. Really, I just want to start a bit of a discussion surrounding raids, the good, the bad, and how they can improve. This is actually my second time recording this video. The first time around, I thought the editing wasn't that good, and I thought I could really do a better job at making it, I guess, less negative. At the end of the day, everybody has different experiences on the game, everybody has different goals, and everybody's experience is going to be different. So the title of this post is Criticism on Raids as a Whole and Their Difficulty/Accessibility to the General Community. So this person's been playing the game since 2013, and he has gotten pretty high up in the PvP rankings. He has 2 whole boxes of level 100 Pokemon, and he's been able to participate in past events that require fighting a very buffed up AI. The state of raids, bosses, or generally any intense AI fight has been growing increasingly frustrating with a huge accessibility issue. This content is being increasingly tailored towards a higher spectrum of players who simply have an insane amount of resources to throw at and solve any problem. So one of the big points here is that the events feel more about having a massive stockpile of resources rather than actual skill. Players with the time, money, or existing wealth to quickly breed or purchase specific Pokemon, moves, or items are at a huge advantage. For the average player, this creates a massive barrier to entry. The gameplay becomes less about strategy or skill and more about whether you've pre-farmed enough resources to throw at the event. This person has, those boxes of Pokemon, but, Blissey for the Suicune fight needed to have a plus special defense nature, and that will cost a lot of time and money to change. Now, what this person's saying is not made up, right? Once you know what Pokemon you need to beat the raid, yeah, if you have the money, you can just buy the Pokemon and use them. I don't exactly know what he means by skill, but for me, having the money or getting to the point of being able to purchase or breed these Pokemon is part of the game and part of the game I enjoy. The next thing he talks about is lack of communication and accessibility. These events often feel like puzzles, which could be fun, but the lack of communication about mechanics or effective strategies makes it unnecessarily frustrating. The community is left to figure things out through trial and error, which usually results in frustration for less experienced players or those not plugged into community hubs like Discord or the forums. Players shouldn't need to hunt down niche meta guides just to feel like they can engage with the content. It should not be a prerequisite to even have a shot at beating the content alone. On top of that, the AI mechanics often feel cheap rather than challenging, like they're designed to invalidate most player strategies unless you build hyper-specific counters. This creates a gatekeeping effect where only those who already have access to certain strategies or Pokemon can even attempt the content. Again, I don't really understand what this person is talking about when it comes to what he would want in terms of communication about mechanics or strategies, but I personally like the trial and error aspect, and I think Pokemon is actually pretty welcoming of a game when it comes to mechanics, because if you think about it, right, you see a Tangrowth, you know that, okay, I'm just going to go into my PC, right, and I'm going to bring Fire-type Pokemon, some Ice-type Pokemon, some Poison-type Pokemon, whatever I have already level 80 or 100, And then let's say it takes a few attempts, especially if you're solo queuing, to get to 20% HP or 30% HP, and then you figure out, hey, the boss is actually adapting to, let's say, Fire-type Pokemon, because, a lot of people are aware of this Sun strategy, so a lot of people are bringing Fire types, and the boss adapts to Fire types. Now I need to go into the raid again, but this time I'm going to bring less Fire types, or I'm going to, take my 6 Fire types, 5 Fire types, and add a couple Ice types. If we think about other games with raids or dungeons, a lot of the time we don't even get the luxury of the upfront knowledge of the boss or what even the boss does or is. This person talks about the AI mechanics feeling cheap rather than challenging, and he goes into more detail in the last point. So before I talk about that, let's go into the next point, which is about team dependency and solo queue. Now, I don't think anybody would disagree with what he says here about solo queue. The dependency on forming or finding highly coordinated teams can be exhausting. Events often favor players who have established friend groups or guilds, making it harder for solo players to participate. 100% agree. During the Lunar New Year event, which I just started playing the game before the Lunar New Year event 2024, and also during the Halloween event, I exclusively solo queued. And I was able to beat every single piece of content from these events by just solo queuing. During these Christmas raids, though, once the 4 stars hit, I didn't even try to solo queue. He then says the level of coordination that is expected from players, frankly, is ridiculous when suggestion charts look like this just to fight a Vanillux. Now, the last thing he talks about is punishing mechanics for non-meta strategies. One of the most annoying things about these raids and bosses is how they punish you for trying anything that's not meta. If you don't show up with the exact Pokemon, movesets, or strategies that everyone says are required, you might as well not bother. It feels like the way these fights are set up forces everyone into the same narrow playstyle. Now, I do agree the fights do push you into a certain playstyle, but if you think about it, how would they not do that? For example, we saw a lot of trick rooms during these fights. There's only a couple playstyles you have. It's to trick room or to bring slow Pokemon. I think that there is a very limited amount of Pokemon in the first place that can, let's say, hit damage cap. There are certain moves that are going to be way better than others because we already know their damage. So I guess in a sense I do agree, but at the same time I don't know if there is another option. I also do think there's a lot of Pokemon that don't get talked about, and there are a ton more strategies in terms of Pokemon that you can use. One opinion of mine that I think a lot of players need to hear is that the raids of the event are not really for new players. While the raids are probably the coolest and biggest part of the event, we have the mysterious ball turn-ins, which every event has. You can save them for investment, you can open them for a greater chance at a shiny, or, especially as a new player, you can sell these and make a ton of money. In this event, if you had all the regions done, you could also do the Starmie event. Every player also has different goals. For example, I'm in a team that is mainly for shiny hunting. Now, I don't want to go too much on a tangent, I don't want to make this video too long, but at the end of the day, in my opinion, if you aren't done all 5 regions, if you're not done the Pokedex, I don't know if raids are something you should be really focusing on. You can love the raids, you can try your best to do all of them, but I don't know if they are necessarily meant for you, whatever that means. Now, on the bright side, in regards to solo queue, we have this post that I did see from a Petrowski video. Okay, shout out to him because I would not have known about this post without that video. This person asks why raids cannot be queued with friends. Why can you only solo queue or with 4 players? Q, a dev, responds with the fact that they simply did not get this into the game before the event. Xanarchy jumps in to say that matchmaking needs the ability to see your teammates' teams and the ability to access your PC box to adjust your team. Q responds to him saying that there will be improvements in the future, which is a great sign all around. Either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your opinion on anything raid related in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed, comment if you have any questions, and subscribe for more content like this. Peace, guys.